Hey everybody, my name is Mark Dowdy. My wife, my brother, and I are getting ready to take a long distance hike. We're going to actually start in Gibraltar, walk north to Seville in Spain, then northwest toward Lisbon, Portugal, and then on the Caminho Portuguese up to Santiago de Compostela. The entire route's about 800 miles, and I thought I'd do a gear review to kick off and let anybody else who's interested see what we brought with us this time. We've done several long-distance hikes before, and so a lot of this equipment is reused from previous hikes. Just to let you know that most of these things are tried, true, and tested. There's a couple new items that I'll bring out. So starting at the outside of the pack, let me get this out of the way real quick. This is my Tilly hat. He's been on several different trips with us. I love the broad brim, lightweight going on with the Tilly. Also on the outside of the pack, my wife and I both bring one pole. I know all of the recommendation will say bring two or none. We bring one pole each. It's just what we've gotten used to. This is a black diamond cork handled pole. I've been pretty pleased with that. It's carbon. I did make one modification to this. This is actually being filmed on an Insta360 1RX camera, and I use that for vlogging on our trips. And I've made a modification to this pole to actually allow it to be also a camera stick or selfie stick kind of thing. I've drilled off the end and inserted a threaded insert, and then I just flip my pole around and that becomes my selfie stick. So nice little modification there. We used that on the Via Francigena in 2021. That was a 1,500-mile adventure. Worked really well. Another little short weight savings. I'll get this out of the way. This is normally, this is how I pack my pack. I would take my pair of shoes, I would stick it on the top, my extra pair of shoes and trail runners, and I would just keep them on the outside. Keeps the dirt down. Of course, if it's raining, those would go inside, but they would normally be on the outside. So these are Brooks Cascadia. I bought wide width. I don't have a wide foot, but as you all know, your foot will swell, so it's always recommended to bring a wide with you. These are Gore-Tex. I went back and forth this year, but I've defaulted to a Gore-Tex on those. I probably don't need that, but I'm sort of used to it. Also in the back net pouch, I've got a chum bag. This is used for fishing, right, to put chum out in the water or to carry the chum with you anyway. We use them for a combination laundry bag and grocery bag, sort of miscellaneous. It's very, very lightweight. Nice little convenient thing. We've taken that on about every Camino that we've walked, so that's pretty good. The other little bag I have is a bit interesting. I found these from ULEAD, which is a company that makes industrial supplies, and they sent me a sample. It's just a thin plastic bag, long section. When you're in Europe, quite often the bread is sort of baguette shaped, and you don't want to put that in your pack because the crumbs get everywhere. And I just use these. They're really nice. They're roll type. They're waterproof. I can keep it on the outside of the pack. Just a simple little thing. And then another one just like it, which is a Ziploc version of the same thing. So we'll throw that off to the side. Also on the outside of the pack, you'll see a bunch of safety pins. We use these to hang up our clothes, miscellaneous stuff like that. These are the lightest ones I could find. They don't have the little curly Q at the bottom. You probably can't see that, but very lightweight safety pins. In the very bottom here, you may be able to see there's some reusable zip ties. Excellent for putting your shoes on the outside or other things, and you use the ties to kind of keep them from swaying back and forth. Super lightweight, obviously, quite easy to use. I won't describe this very much. That's a pool noodle. I actually have some back issues, and I found that the pool noodle helps, particularly on the overseas trip in the economy class seat. So I'll probably throw that away once we get there, but just to let you know what it was and why it's there. Every year when we walk these trips, we bring some kind of gift with us to hand out to people that make our trail special for us, or people that we help out along the way that just have meant something meaningful to us. Try to keep it lightweight. This year we're getting these little sort of rubbery bracelets. They have our website on the inside, and then James 1:17. This is the trip to Santiago, which is St. James. So there's a quote from the Bible, the book of James 1:17. And that quote is that all good and perfect gifts come from the Father above. So there you go. We bring 2 water bottles with us. These are 700 milliliter water bottles, and we just refill them along the way. So that's all the water we need. And that's it on the, oh, sorry, one last thing. Clothesline, just a piece of paracord with some knots tied in it so that you can either hang it vertically and hang your clothes on the knots, or hang it horizontally. I have a corkscrew. Every year I keep forgetting to bring this. This time I'm remembering. A little corkscrew if you get a bottle of wine, very handy. And I probably will not use the water filter this year. We needed it on the Via Francigena, but this is a Katadyn Be-Free 1 liter version. I've used this on many hiking trips, obviously, but probably won't need it this time, but it's maybe a safety luxury item, I'm not sure. And lastly, this is an Opinel, I think this is a number 6, Opinel number 6 knife. One of the lightest camp knives you can get, great brand from France. So I will obviously have to check this and not bring it on the plane. Okay, that's everything on the outside of the pack except for the auxiliary pouches. First of all, up front there's a little, this is a pack towel, it's a washcloth size. I use this mostly as a kind of a sweat rag or something. It's just an extra little cloth. I've used it to shield my face from the sun when the hat wasn't enough, various stuff, cool my body down when that's needed. On the outside of this pack, there's 2 pouches. This is, on the side is the standard belt pouch that you can see. I'll have a snack in here, some lip balm, miscellaneous stuff like that. In this pouch, however, is where I keep my camera, which you're reviewing it on, so I can have easy access, passport, and those of you that are familiar with the pilgrimages, you carry a pilgrim's credential with you that you collect stamps along the way, and it gives you access to pilgrim albergues. So there's the outside of the pack. By the way, this pouch is really nice. It unclips. They call it a FUPA, a front utility pouch accessory. It unclips and has a secondary strap, and you can use this, clip it around your waist, or my wife uses it as a kind of a pocketbook kind of thing, and you can carry it around town. So it's sort of the equivalent to removing the brain off of some packs and carrying that as an auxiliary pouch. All right, let's delve into the inside. By the way, this is a Z-Packs Arcol 62 liter. The 62 is a bit deceiving for the Z-Pack sizes, but it's not nearly as big as that may sound. But this is the 62. It is waterproof or highly water resistant, they say. It's basically waterproof. But regardless of that, you always have to make a decision. Do you trust that? Do you put an external pack layer on? Do you wrap your stuff in dry bags or put a liner inside? So you'll see what I've done in a minute. In addition to the shoes I showed you, I'm going to bring 2 pairs of shoes on this trip. These are trail runners. The first were Brooks Cascadia. These are Hoka Speed Goat shoes. I find these most comfortable when walking on road, mostly because they're a little bit more absorbent, a little cushier than the Brooks. The Brooks have a little bit better grip for trail. What else do we have? First out of the pack rolled, this is a Z-Packs dry bag, very lightweight version of a Dyneema type dry bag, and this is my electronics. So this will have all of the, the batteries, the cords, cables, stuff like that. I won't go through in detail, but cables for charging my my camera and phone. This is a little bit unique that us Americans you may not think about, but obviously they have European plugs over in Europe, and instead of bringing a converter to plug American accessories into, I've over the years just bought European style outlets. So this is a 4-plug USB-A adapter, plug it into the wall, you can charge all your stuff on it. Everything else in here is related to my camera. Since I do vlogging, I have a 360 lens, extra battery, the case that goes around the camera. This is also in there. It's a little miniature flashlight to clip on your hat. We will be walking in the dark some on this trip as we get up early. And this trip is starting March 1st, so the day length won't be quite as long. So we'll have some use for the flash this year. For the first time, I'm going to actually be bringing some audio equipment. We've struggled with our audio on these trips when the wind blows, and I'm bringing 2 Rode Wireless 2 receivers. So I'll clip one on myself, one on my wife or brother, and we'll get much better audio quality coming out there. They're quite lightweight, and that's sort of my luxury item this year. some micro SD cards for recording video. That's the part of the Rode system as well. And everything else in here is just, well, it's a stopper for, it doesn't belong in there, does it? That stopper for the end of the hiking pole and an auxiliary battery charger. So there's your electronics. I will bring my iPhone as well. That'll be my communication and vlogging device. Let's see, right out the top of the bag, you'll notice this wasn't packed up. That's kind of intentional. This is my top layer. I always keep a layer handy, particularly when we're starting in the mornings and the evenings. It typically comes off quite early in the day as we begin hiking. So coming out of the bag next is a dry bag. Now, I mentioned your choice. I actually use these mostly to keep things contained versus keeping them dry. Again, the bag is already pretty much waterproof, and I do carry a liner, which you'll see, but this is mostly for organization. This is the size bag I use for my next day's clothes. So this has everything I'll need for the next day. Let's open it up, see what we got. Inside, first off, a pair of Darn Tough socks. I use these. They're pretty much indestructible. I've used them over several different Caminos. This is a pair of Columbia PFG convertible pants. Basically the lightest version of pants that I've been able to find on the market, that fit me anyway. So these are excellent breeches to use. A shirt, this is a Patagonia shirt, one of two that I'm bringing. Very, very lightweight versions. And by the way, all the weights will be included at the end of this video in text form. This is ex officio underwear. Use them all four of our trips now. Going for the first one with a slightly shorter variant, only a 3-inch inseam instead of a 6. Tried them out, seemed to work pretty well on the trail, so I'm going to be saving a fraction of weight there. So our big debate this year was sleeping bag versus liner. Every time we have always taken a liner when we've done the Caminos. On the Via Francigena, we definitely needed to bring, and we were glad we brought a sleeping bag because we were up in the Alps and we were walking through till October. So we're kind of on the border again this time. We'll be leaving March 1st. We'll be walking through the first week of May. We've decided to go ahead and take a chance and just bring a sleeping bag liner for the weight savings. So hopefully that works out well. And this is just a sheet of silk. It's maybe a yard by a yard piece of silk. I use this as a pillowcase and has a couple various functions, but wrap it around the pillow that they give you as a pillowcase. All right, next item in the bag is toiletries. So this is a non-waterproof bag, just a Sea to Summit 3-liter bag. And this carries everything that I would bring to the shower with me to clean up with, starting with a towel. This funny story, this was actually bought on a Camino because I had left mine at a shop. My wife uses hike goo for her feet, and she needs to bring 2 tubes. I carry one of those 2 tubes, so she's a big fan of this stuff. I don't use it, but it really helps her, makes her feet happy, makes her happy, makes me happy. This is just a bar of soap. I have a little bag that goes with it. Honestly, couldn't find it, so I wrapped this in gauze to represent the bag, but it's like that. You keep the bag there to pin on the backpack so it'll help it dry overnight. Basic other items here, a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and some medicine that I have to take. So there's one supply of medicine in the bag. Next up is all of the rest of the clothes that I'm bringing. So this is it, that you saw, and this bag. This has everything else included in it. So this is a pair of gloves. I've been having a lot of trouble recently with my fingers getting cold and numb, so I have a pair of fleece type gloves, another pair of underpants, another pair of socks, a third pair of underpants, one additional shirt, so that's a total of 2 shirts, one additional pair of pants, same brand, different color, so 2 pairs of pants. There's the third pair of socks. These are smart wool. This is a Z-Pex buff, neck gaiter type of thing. Use it for various things, mostly to stay warm, but we've used it for other stuff during the day. And lastly, a fleece layer. So that is obviously for warmth, very lightweight fleece, as you can imagine. What else do we have in here? We're getting to the end. The last thing, Last thing you'll see in the pack is the rain gear. Now I've divided this into two big pieces. First of all are rain pants. For the first time on the VF we bought rain pants. I'm now a huge fan of them. We never had any rain in Spain, so it never really came to it. But this year, walking in the spring, we will undoubtedly have a good bit of rain. So rain pants are great. They're also great for walking through stinging nettles, which I don't know if they'll have in Spain. They certainly did in France. This is a rain jacket that I brought on every single Via Francigena, a Marmot brand rain jacket. Pretty lightweight version. Big debate between rain jackets and ponchos. Ponchos probably do a better job in the rain in general, but the rain jacket also acts as a wind layer just to walk around generically across town. Last two things in this rain kit are some waterproof mittens that go over your gloves. They're just thin pieces of waterproof material, go over your gloves. They worked pretty well last time. A little debating whether I'm going to bring those, but I probably will. And lastly, a pair of sealskin waterproof socks. We brought these on our Via Francigena. I was very pleased with them. They do constrict your toes, so you have to make a judgment call there and see if they're for you or not. I was a big fan with them. They allow you to walk in even if your shoes are wet. And that, folks, is everything in my pack except for the liner itself. This is going to be loud. So this horribly crinkly thing is a ultra lightweight liner. Normally we would just bring a trash compactor bag. That's fine. This is even a lighter weight version than that. So we're going to give it a try this year and see how it works. All right, folks, all in all, top FSO, so from skin out, every single thing I'm bringing with me this year, including 1.5 liters of water, is 19.6 pounds. So we're pretty pleased with that. If you subtract my lightest ensemble, so a pair of shorts, underwear, socks, the hat, and my hiking pole, including the water, that's 16.3 pounds that'll be on my back maximum at any one time. That's a pretty good weight. I'm pretty pleased with it. I think that'll make for a pleasant journey. Again, check out the weights at the bottom that follow this video. You can see all the detailed weights of everything we're carrying.